here. From rags to riches many come, through love's epitome. In case that foresight happens now, I just want you to know.
They can never rid me of my power, I'm divine, nigga. Shut off in Cape Verde with a dime, sipping wine, nigga. I drank from the devil's chalice, but I spit it out. Verbally inclined, I'm never lyrically in a drought. I don't acknowledge peons, they ain't on the vibes that we on. Cartier frames, fresh line and a black tee on. Envisioned the finish line before the race was even ran. I roll up on you gump niggas just like I was Lieutenant Dan. Manifested a W, so I knew I'd be victorious. Unlike my...
What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Crypto Wonder. Hope you're doing well. Let's get right into it. It's crazy. I think anyone who claims they're not a member of the cabal will be looked at, or will be looked upon as being a member of the cabal. Because you're dealing with people, you're dealing with the internet. Folks are fickle, people are funny like that. Show me your friends, I'll show you who you are. Your associations, your dealings with individuals, basically describe what you're about. Unfortunately, that's how it is, man. Guilty by association. You claim that you're not a member of the cabal. It's going to make you look like you're a member of the cabal. You may be a low-level member. You may be a foot soldier, right? But you're not a high-ranking officer. You're not a mastermind, right? You're not the person calling the shots behind the scenes or whatever. You may not even really be a member. But because of your dealings on the internet, your public dealings, visible dealings, you're a member by default. And the more you deny it, is the more people are going to believe that you are. I saw the attempt that this community member made with the recent documentary to expose scammers and to basically salvage, whatever little reputation that the developer for 9mm had. I saw the attempt. I give an A for effort. The production seemed excellent, right? Seemed like a great streaming motion picture. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. But there's certain aspects to this thing that, I need to be as fair as I can be, even though, I'm not unbiased in the situation. I am biased. I'm partial to what I like. But what I'm saying is this. If you're going to create something, like present some issues or something like an expose, if you will, please make sure that what you're presenting is airtight, to where allegations, accusations, and these claims that you have against these scammers are so factual they can't be denied. Irrefutable, substantial proof over evidence. We're talking about proof, because we're at a situation here where, because the internet is just very strange. The internet is a gift and a curse, where you have people who you've identified as scammers. We have them laughing at you on the timeline, like not taking you serious at all. Now, whether it's their tactic, right, to show that whatever claims that you've made do not faze them, they're unbothered, it's one thing, right? But at this stage of the game, with so much money on the line as far as pulse chain, so much, we're waiting for this bull market to really, occur, and people talk about institutional money, and it's time for all these multiple X's, all this stuff. People have no time to waste unless you're just doing something to create entertainment and help people pass the time. Whatever information you're showing, make sure it's ironclad, in my opinion, right? To where even if a person is laughing at you, they're sweating inside. They're scared. But it doesn't appear that way. And that's unfortunate. And I'm going to identify one critical flaw. I don't have time to really go through everything else because it's just the entire thing about this documentary, from what I gathered, and I could be wrong, the entire purpose of creating this documentary, or the objective, right? The premise was to, again, identify how there was some type of concerted effort going after this developer who created 9mm decks for the meme coin community that supported the 9mm decks. They're like synonymous with one another. Synonymous. But the problem lies when you're identifying, right, the nefarious, the bad actors that came in and took complete advantage of a critical flaw that was discovered in one of the contracts under the developer's purview. You have to ask yourself one question. Who created the critical flaw? Can you blame the thief from being a thief, from doing what he does? Can you blame the snake from slithering and hissing and behaving like the natural snake that it is? Who set up the situation to create an attack, a central point of attack, vector, if you will? Who created that? This is why, and when that goes unaddressed, but it's clearly present, and you're not addressing that and speaking about that, it shows the only level of bias. Like you have to be somewhat, and I get it, right? You're defending a cause. You're doing what you have to do while you're defending a cause, you're revealing a group of shady characters doing shady things. I get that. And I understand that. But the entire, your premise for all this, again, was to call out these bad actors and get to the bottom of the 9mm hack, because they attacked somebody who you believe was innocent. All the while, a great deal of accountability lied on that quote-unquote innocent person, because there was a security vulnerability present in their situation, in that contract situation. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, this just all felt like it was just entertainment. Why? I'm going to say this. Because while you're accusing people of doing things, expect expect some type of repercussion on some level, because this is the thing, right? When you're saying pass the information along, make this go viral, tag Richard Hart, tag Eric Wall, you were also present and clear in saying that you, as a content, the documentary narrator and creator, said that, okay, they're gonna come for you. They're gonna come for you. And that is a very uncomfortable and precarious situation to be in. Especially when your position or the information that you presented, especially with that one issue, like that one example that I showed you, was not ironclad, it's not airtight. You leave yourself vulnerable, right, for equal and opposite reaction. The blowback, the feedback, the rebuttal, the retort, whatever it is. And it started with comedic laughter. People are laughing at you. They're laughing at y'all. Is that the response you're looking for? The reason why I'm talking about this is because I do not support scammers, period. I do not support grifters, period. Never have. And I think it's important for people to be aware of the piss poor, shady, negative, criminal activities that take place on the blockchain, to protect yourself, to safeguard yourself, to avoid becoming a victim of these scammers, to shed light, to bring awareness online. So when people find it, they're knowledgeable now and know what to stay away from or to identify to stay away from. That's why I'm talking about these things. Because this is nothing new. The next bear market, you're going to have a new set of scammers doing the same scamming things, grifting things. And then you're going to have people that have never left, but maybe they operate in the shadows. Who knows? Who cares? Scamming is an activity that's never going to disappear, especially in a space that we try to exalt and praise for being decentralized. Nobody controls, no central authority, no central point of anything. Oh yeah, you welcome everything good and everything bad. So it's going to be present. But my thing is, when are people going to say enough is enough, right? Because I get it. Okay, tag this person, tag that person. But what do you think, before I even talk about when is enough going to be enough, what do you think tagging Richard Hart and Eric Wall is supposed to do? What are you expecting them to do? Mr. Richard Hart himself, who doesn't work for anybody. You want to see something done, you do it. That guy, what do you expect him to do from being tagged about identifying a documentary about identifying and exposing scammers? What is he supposed to do? Tell his lawyers? Tell the authorities? What's Eric Wall supposed to do? One of the premier trolls since the beginning of this whole ecosystem, since before Hex launched. What do you think? That's his friend. What do you think they're supposed to do? Pump the bags? Oh, okay. Oh, I see here now. There's a documentary is showing. Wow, all these people, they're scammers. Let me pump the bag. What's the point? To show Richard that he has snakes in his garden? I'm sure he's well aware. I'd be hard pressed to not believe that Richard, like it's hard for me to believe that Richard is not aware of what's been going on Pulse Chain the last 16 months. I'm sure he's very aware. Very aware. A person like him who's trying to do this, like he says, for glory, you think he's not going to be aware, he's not going to be familiar with the shenanigans that have been taking place? Most of the coins on Pulse Chain are anti-RH. Never mind what people are talking about, that they Hart's Law, and they, creating coins that's supposed to be long-term minded and delayed gratification. They're anti-RH. Because if it was that case, they would just support the main coins. That's not what you find here. The majority of the coins they show you. I'm sure he's very aware. Extremely aware. So sending him this doc, okay. It's not the first time that the individuals named in the doc, many of them have already been identified by other members of the community. Just add this documentary to the list. But at the same time, what's the goal? What's the objective you're trying to achieve here? What's the objective? Because like I said, opening up this blog, in the beginning of this blog, people, this whole cabal business, when a person says they're not a cabal member, you got to look at them and, you're hearing them, but in other words, you're believing that they are a cabal member, even if they say they're not, because of their associations. Unfortunately. What's the point? What are we? What's the end goal? What's the end result? Just to pass the time? Maybe not. I'm just talking. But what it does look like, I could say this too at this point, is if people, like there are other members in the community that have openly, publicly, when I say open, I mean publicly, tagged law enforcement agencies, such as the FBI, etc., right? You tag them on these social media platforms like Twitter. And we understand how the FBI historically has operated in the past. They take their time building cases. And when they finally come for you, it's because they got you. They got enough to burn you. But it's a slow cooking, it's a slow moving type of situation. Their investigation process is extensive and exhaustive, right? Very extensive. So maybe that's what's going on right now, because I do see and I do hear. And when I say see and hear, it's mostly see, especially on Twitter. How people, they've tagged the FBI. People are writing posts talking about folks that, being sued for all types of criminal charges involving, seeking assistance from the feds. This ain't a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. And then as always, I always say, you don't know who's listening to you. People just don't know. You got to be careful the message you put out there, because someone might pick it up and run with the message. They'll run with it. Like I said, like with the documentary, give the person a A for effort. Seem like put some time, some work. I understand it's not easy creating content, especially when you have to edit, right? But when you're collecting your information, when you're collecting and you're trying to connect certain dots and you're doing what you're doing, try to leave very little wiggle room for error, for inaccuracies, right? To where even the people that you're attacking, you're going against, you're exposing, have to like really look in the mirror and say, damn. Right? Like, damn, somebody got me. If you're not doing that, it's just all entertainment. It's all gossip after a while. Granted, when you do provide proof or evidence, not proof, but evidence, screenshots and video clips and this and that can support your stance. It can. But then when you leave certain room for interpretation, that's when it gets murky. Because certain things could be taken out of context, such and such. However you deliver your information matters. Because the crazy part about it is this documentary was put forth. Okay, good. I hear you. Cool. Exposing people, exposing scammers. But guess what? Again, the purpose of the documentary was to help repair the reputation of the developer of the 9mm decks. Right? And indirectly help the community that was supporting the 9mm decks, the meme community, right? The day the hack occurred, less than 24 hours, the same characters that were revealed in your documentary was revealed almost 3 weeks ago, the same day the hack occurred, in a 24-hour period, by another member of the community, another member of the meme coin community that identified the same individual. So what new, what more, what did you, what difference, what new information did you bring to the fore outside of bringing new other people and names that might not have been mentioned almost 3 weeks ago? You just added more names. Like, cool, you made the web just got a little bit larger. Okay. But in terms of repairing the reputation for the developer, I don't know if that was really successful, because the security breach, the security vulnerability, the attack vector was present before any scammer decided to scam.